Welcome to the Hidden Palace with Skyblaze.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am Skyblaze, and this is the Hidden Palace here on Radio SEGA. I hope everyone enjoyed the Sonic 30th anniversary last week, including the Race for Good event that was going on, which included some of our own Radio SEGA streamers, including my husband Grateful. There was also the Sonic 30th Symphony, which was pretty awesome. The Crush 40 performance with orchestra was pretty sweet. But let's not give Sonic all of the focus here, because yeah, it's his 30th birthday and that's pretty impressive, but someone else turned 29 this year. And yes, we are in fact talking about Tails. Now, he debuted during Sonic 2 in 1992, and Tails, for those of you who have been living under a rock, in a cave, on Mars, he is Sonic's faithful sidekick. It was originally created by Sonic Team's main artist and zone designer, Yasushi Yamaguchi, as part of an internal competition to make a sidekick for Sonic. Sega of Japan decided to give him the name Miles Per Hour, which was a play on the term miles per hour, and I know quite a lot of people who didn't realise that for such a long time. Didn't realise that it was a pun. Because it was supposed to be in keeping with the whole Sonic going fast thing. Sega of America, however, wanted to call him Tails in order to reference the fact that he did in fact have two tails. And as a compromise, the American name became his nickname, so he became Miles Tails Per Hour. So the closer man saying, unlike Sonic, Tails doesn't pay rent. He's too young. I have no idea what's going on in the chat. TCB appears to be renamed TC Weeb for some reason. I'm not sure who's responsible for that, but hey ho. Discord chat is being strange, but this is not exactly unusual. So while Tails has been a staple of Sonic games since his introduction, he has had a few solo titles, which I'm going to talk about today. Starting with his first solo game, which is called Tails and the Music Maker. Now, I say game, but that's not entirely accurate, as this is one of the storyware edutainment titles that came out on the Sega Pico. That was released in 1994 in North America and 1995 in Japan, which is a bit backwards from how it usually is, but never mind. It has Tails teach you about music using various musical activities. Now, for those of you who have not heard the episode where I talk about the Sega Pico, or who can't remember that far back, which is fair enough, the Pico operates with a book which is attached to a game cartridge which slots into the Pico, which in turn connects to your TV. So instead of a standard controller, you use a stylus and a number of buttons which are found on the Pico device itself. Frost saying it would be nice if someone from the extended cast called him Miles. I think there was something about that in the Archie comics, and I think in most continuities it's canon that he hates the name Miles, I think, and he prefers the name Tails. I suspect that's something to do with the fact that that's what Sonic calls him, so. But let's have a bit of music. So our first request for this evening came in from Nicholas Aman. And he said this was a bit of a stretch, but it's fine. I mean, it's a track that's associated with Tails, so I have no problem with that one. This is from Sonic Unleashed, and it is Tornado Defense, First Battle. And then after that, from Sonic Adventure, we've got Believe in Myself, which is the theme of Tails. So enjoy those, and I will speak to you again after the music break to talk a bit more about Tails and the Music Maker. Enjoy!
Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. This is Nicolas Aman, the demon ruler of the Radio Sega playlist, and you're listening to The Hidden Palace.
And we are back, and that was Sonic Adventure Believe in Myself, the theme of Tails, and before that from Sonic Unleashed Tornado Defense First Battle, which was requested by Nicholas Hamann, our demon ruler of the Radio Sega playlist. Yeah, apparently more shows have had Nicholas do some idents for them. I think I was the first one to get a Nicholas ident, for which I feel a bit honoured now, because apparently he's a rare and highly sought after commodity. So I really do love his ident, the way the kind of piano fade out at the very end. It's beautiful. On to what I was meant to be talking about then. So, Tales and the Music Maker. The book/game has 6 pages through which you will learn about scales, tempo, rhythm, and musical instruments, which immediately makes it more useful than any of my music classes when I was in secondary school. For example, page 1 sees you in the Green Hill Zone, where Tails appears with a turtle and a frog in the background. The turtle will move between 3 palm trees, which you can click on with your cursor, causing a coconut to fall from the tree. The frog can be found near a stream, and clicking on it will take you to a game of musical chairs, or musical lily pads in this case, where Tails and a group of frogs will leap from pad to pad while music plays, and make sure to stop when the music does, otherwise you'll find yourself falling into the water. Lastly, on the main screen you'll find a musical note floating in the air. Clicking on this will take you to a game where you have to get Tails from one end of Green Hill to the other while avoiding falling objects, breaking bridges and pitfalls. You do this by choosing how Tails moves, which includes stop, tiptoe, jump and run, each of which has their own musical tune as he moves. This sounds cute, actually. I kind of want to try this. I don't know if is there an emulator for the Pico? There probably is, because nerds. Let's see what's happening over on the Radio Sega chat. Yeah, my husband Grey4 is actually doing the social media for the show tonight, because Twinny is off celebrating the whole 4th of July thing that they have over in the US. And he's making terrible puns, as usual. So I'm trying to ignore him. What's he? Nicholas Amand says he's done idents for me, Resident SD, and VG Beats, and himself, obviously. There's also that the ident for the promo for your show, which plays alternatively, is like the first time I heard it, I was like, what? It's great, but it is just like, what? And Frost is saying, because Nicholas Saman is apparently like trying to take over every show, taking the whole like demon ruler thing seriously. And Frost is saying, does he have to kill Viper to take over, Terra Empire style? That'd be interesting. It's some sort of death match. Jamie says, I believe there is an emulator for the Pico. I remember emulating Pico games years ago because I had little knowledge of the time, what it was, and I was curious. That's interesting. Might have to have a look then. Nicholas Aman's saying, I want to sing more, but the opportunities are scarce. This is like further evidence that we really need to do that Radio Sega Live music album with all the Sega staff either singing or playing an instrument. I think there's only like 2 or 3 members of the Radio Sega staff who actually have any kind of musical skill. So that could be either amusing or painful or both. I personally, I can play a bit of flute and a bit of keyboard. I can sing a bit. Those of you who remember far back enough to when I was first introduced to Radio Sega and I was on Manic Monday show, and I had to do the thing where you have to say what the lyrics for the music are when Casey cuts the sound. So the only way I can remember lyrics is by singing them, so that's what I did. So yeah, I can sing a little bit. I can carry a tune without the need of a bucket, let's put it that way. Frost is saying you should all see a Nick's version of Let's Go Away. Oh, I'll tell you what we could do. Like, we should have a Radio Sega meetup where we have karaoke, like video game karaoke. I'm pretty certain I can set that up. Because I do have the insurance to do DJ stuff and, like, speakers and shit. So I could probably do that. Dawn's saying I can meow to the tune of Phantasy Star OST. You can also do a really good version of Still Alive, because I've heard you. Anyway, let's have some more music before this gets any more out of hand. So our second request for tonight, from Tales of the Music Maker / Sega Pika Music, because for some reason it's listed as Sega Pika Music on here. This one is requested by Electric Boogaloo, and it is page 3. Not that one! Brits, I know what you're thinking. So, enjoy that. And after that there's actually, I couldn't believe when I found this, there's actually a OC remix of Tales of the Music Maker. I am not making this up. So enjoy that, and I'll speak to you guys again after this. And we are back. And that was Zircon, Tales and the Music Maker, Pico Lessons from our friends over at OC Remix. And before that we had from Tales and the Music Maker, aka Sega Pico Music, page number 3, requested by Electric Boogaloo. A few people in the UK are saying that they're getting thunder and lightning and heavy rain. We had like really loud rolling thunder for like about half an hour before it started tipping it down with rain. I was having a bath, and there's no external walls in our bathroom because it's kind of in the middle of the building, and I could still hear it. It was loud. Lightning storms are great fun to watch. The best one I've ever seen was in Turkey, because the lightning was pink. That was a bit weird. Anyway, next up we've got Tales of Sky Patrol for the Game Gear, which came out in 1995 and sees Tails going on his first proper solo adventure. Landing on a solitary island, Tails discovered a huge railway and has suspicions that Dr. Eggman, or Dr. Robotnik if you prefer, is constructing another base. So he goes in to investigate. But instead of finding Dr. Eggman, Tails catches sight of a woman in a rail cart proclaiming herself to be Witch Cart. Alright? And that any dissenters will be turned into crystals with her magic. On hearing this, Tails set out to stop the Witch Cart and her minions. This is a really strange premise for a Sonic game, or a Sonic related game. The game is basically a horizontal side-scrolling shooter where Tails' only means of attack is with a single ring, which you could use to attack enemies or grab onto various objects in the world such as minecarts, weights and balloons. There are no additional rings to collect, so you're always one hit point away from losing a life. Not only that, but you're consistently on the move, and those of us who have played Sonic 2 and 3 and Knuckles can recall he will tire if he's been flying for too long. So to help keep his flying stamina up, you need to collect mint candies to give him that quick sugar rush to keep on flying. One of the curious things about this game is that it was never meant to be a Tails game at all. It wasn't even meant to be a Game Gear game. It was originally developed for another handheld console which never actually got released, leading to it being redesigned for the Game Gear, and as it had pretty similar specs to the console that was cancelled. The game had original characters, but when presented to Sega, they requested that the main character be replaced with Tails, for which the developers complied. Nicholas Aman saying the sound of thunder on Radio Sega. Thankfully, the window is shut, so it shouldn't be too loud now. Hopefully. Although this microphone is pretty sensitive, so it tends to pick things up quite easily. On which topic, I've got a new mouse, which hopefully should not pick things up, but the microphone shouldn't pick this one up as easily because it's a little bit quieter. It's a SteelSeries mouse, so it is actually a fairly kind of solid brand. So hopefully Greyfall won't break this one. We live in hope. Right. So let's have some music then. From Tales of Sky Patrol, this is Training Zone. And then after that, from Sonic Adventure, we've got Tornado Scramble. Nicholas Aman saying, I'm glad your window shuts sound out better than your bathroom walls. It's not quite as loud now as it was before. So hopefully having the window shut will help. And Frost saying, did Greyfall kill the last one? No, but the last one was a fairly cheap mouse, and it was so loud. This one is a little bit nicer. So it's also got some like really cool lighting around the edge that kind of like changes colours in a rainbow pattern. It's very cool. So hopefully you enjoy this music, and I'll speak to you guys after the break.
You're listening to The Hidden Palace with the wonderful Skyblaze, only on Radio Sega. Well, I guess if you're here, it's not that well hidden, is it?
And we are back. And that was Sonic Adventure Tornado Scramble. And before that we had from Tails Sky Patrol Training Zone. A quick note for people who have been requesting stuff. I usually assemble my playlists in advance. So if you do want music during the show, if you can get in touch with me before the show starts, that's really helpful, and it lets me add anything that you want into the playlist, because that way I can make sure that I've got it and it's decent quality and all that sort of business. So just a note for future. Also, somebody's asked about podcasts, and I am so behind with uploading my stuff. I'm really sorry. I should get to do that. In fact, Greyfort, can you make sure I do that?
Do what?
Upload all my backlog?
Yes. I'll get the pointy stick.
Fine. Somebody's saying, like, if I'm a kitty blob, then why does Greyfort kill all the mice? It's because I'm a kitty blob. And no one's saying, I always pictured kitty blobs as smacking things with their glow sticks when that crowd. That's a marvellous image. How wonderful. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, the old mouse, the scroll wheel would occasionally not work, so he was on the way to killing it. So I was just replying in to somebody messaging me. Loop my talk bed music. Right. Comedy romance show. Yeah. Somebody said somebody was being like teasing us earlier by saying we had such a fairy tale romance. Yeah, we spent most of our marriage taking the mickey out of each other.
You still do.
You deserve it.
As do you.
Love you, really.
You too.
Right, lastly we have Tails Adventure, which was also released on the Game Gear and was also released in 1995. The game is set before the events of Sonic 2 and is therefore before Sonic and Tails meet. Tails has to defeat the Cuckoo Army. Cuckoo? As in... no, never mind. Frost is saying Mouse isn't as loud to start typing. Yeah, this keyboard is quite loud. I try not to type when I'm on air, but I was trying to reply to a message. Gameplay in Tails Adventure has been compared more to games such as Metroid and Castlevania, so making it a fairly early example of the Metroidvania genre, because you travel back and forth between levels, locating items that help you unlock new areas to explore. Seems fairly textbook Metroidvania so far. Such items include bombs, a wrench, speed boots, item radar, and the radio, which lets you change the music for the game as you play. Now, health in this game is a bit different to both Sonic and Tails Sky Patrol games. You'll be able to collect rings, but instead of losing them when you're hit, you only lose a small number of them. You also get the means to increase your health pool by collecting the Chaos Emeralds. But they don't just increase your health, they also increase your flight time by a few seconds for each emerald collected. One other point about Tails Adventure is that I think he can create a robot. And this is like one of the first manifestations of the kind of gadgeteer genius characterization that he got later on. Also, Tails got an adventure title before Sonic did, which is kind of amusing. And Electric Boogaloo is putting a couple of things on. Sorry, I got super busy, but what's that? So I can't watch videos at the moment. And somebody's devised a way to play play Game Gear games on a Master System. That's interesting. So, let's have a couple of tracks from, well, a track from Tails Adventure, and this one was in fact requested by Resident SD. So this is from Tails Adventure, this is Poloi Forest, and after that we've got from Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sky Chase Zone. So have a listen to those, and I'll be back after this music break for Chiptune Corner.
I'm Resident SD, host of Lay and Live, and when it comes to boosting your Sega education, there's no better place than the Hidden Palace on Radio Sega.
And we are back. And that was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Sky Chase Zone. And before that we had from Tails Adventure Poloi Forest, which was requested by Resident SD. Electric Boogaloo saying, I hope you're well. Sort of. I've been a bit of a kind of walking disaster the past few days. I managed to pull a muscle in my back rolling over in bed, which was kind of embarrassing. And then the other day I stepped on some glass in the kitchen. Grey 4 had to pull it out with a pair of tweezers. It didn't really hurt that much, but there was some blood. And then today we were rearranging Grey 4's office to make it a bit more usable, and I cramped my calf muscle quite badly. So I'm kind of falling apart a bit. Oh dear. But never mind, let's move on to the Chiptune Corner, shall we? So on today's Chiptune Corner, I'll be talking about 8-bit music artist Rush Jet 1. He's probably best known for his work on the music for the Switch version of Cave Story Plus, and he's also worked on 5 different albums remaking the songs from the Mega Man series of games. You can find his music on Bandcamp and on SoundCloud, and I will drop those links in the Discord chat for you. I suspect Grey 4 will probably put them on the social media as well. Right. So I've selected one of his tracks. I've got quite a lot of his stuff actually. This is one of his more upbeat tracks. This one is called Asteroid Run. So have a listen, let me know what you think, and I will speak to you after this to close out the show. And we are back. And that was Asteroid Run by RushJet1. Do check out his stuff and send him some money, because it's always nice to support independent creators. Yeah, Grey 4 was like posted a gif of wrapping me in bubble wrap, and I was like, no, I refuse. You'd spend all of your time just popping it. It'd be really irritating. So thank you for listening in, everyone, you lovely people, you. I think Gavi should be up next with Saturday Night Sega, or SNS, or whatever it's currently called. And be sure to have a listen in for our Sunday lineup, where we will have the LMC block, Rex's Sega Mixer Drive, and Dr. Scottnik's Journey into Dreams. I've been Skyblaze, and this has been the Hidden Palace here on Radio Sega. We've got one last track to go out on, and that is from Project X Zone, and that's a track called Eruption. So take care, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Good night.
Enjoyed the show? Check out the full Radio Sega live schedule at radiose.ga/shows. Radio Sega, playing the best Sega music 24/7.